歡迎收睇美國專訊。製作動物標本既係一門藝術，亦係一門科學。下邊係我哋嘅記者費多喺紐約嘅報道。
I got interested in taxidermy because I've always loved nature, I've always loved art, and I've always loved science, and taxidermy is a combination of all of that. This is a glossy starling, and you can see it's a cleaned and preserved skin. This is a domestically raised bird that is naturally deceased, so that is how I came upon this bird. Often the animals are sourced ethically, legally, sustainably. Everyone sort of has a different way of talking about the way they source animals, but animals that I source are sourced completely as sustainably as possible, and that's a real standard across the whole industry. I got into taxidermy as a hobby. I started collecting antique taxidermy and started collecting natural history artifacts in general, so shells and minerals and gems and rocks and all sorts of other stuff like that. So this is what goes, this foam body is what will go inside of the skin to make the bird, to fill out the bird, to make it look alive again. I work mostly with birds and small mammals, so I really love working on sort of the smaller creatures that people often overlook, or creatures that people often don't think of when they think of taxidermy. People don't really think of small birds, but I love them so much because they're animals that I find just fascinating and breathtaking and just full of wonder. What I love most about taxidermy is just that never-ending sense of like renewing that joy and wonder and fascination with nature. Every time you get close to nature, you see something new. And taxidermy gives us this really special thing where it's this amazing tool for conservation, and that it's a storytelling tool. You know, through the art of taxidermy, I can tell a story about an animal, and someone can get close to that animal and feel something and see something that they might not be able to see if that animal were alive, because we really shouldn't get close to wildlife when it's alive. You know, we should maintain our distance from wildlife so it stays wild. But through taxidermy, through whether it's a piece of home decor, whether it's a piece that's a diorama, whether it's a piece that is, you know, something in between, I think that people can have a moment of stillness. They can have a moment of appreciation for that animal's beauty and get lost in the details and really surrender their curiosity to that animal. And that will drive them to conserve nature. Because once you get close to something, you care about it. When you care about something, you want to conserve it. And I think that sort of summed up picture is the most wonderful thing about taxidermy.
古巴雪茄吸引咗全世界嘅吸煙愛好者。我哋嘅記者斯威科特最近去到邁阿密嘅小夏灣拿社區，咁睇睇古巴嘅煙草工藝喺當地嘅發展情況。
Little Havana is the center of Cuban culture in Miami. You always hear music. Cigars are at the center of the Cuban culture, which means that tourists come here. Yes, they come to eat, they come to enjoy, but the main thing they come to buy, the main product they come to purchase, cigars. Cigars. Welcome to Little Havana. Come into my shop. I was born and raised in Havana, Cuba. My grandfather used to be a cigar roller in Cuba. We consume more cigars than the entire world combined. The lighter the color, the milder the cigar. The darker the color, the stronger the cigar it is. So for example, this is what we call Connecticut shade. Connecticut shade because the first leaf was cultivated in Connecticut, USA, and it came out like almost yellow. And this is a mild cigar. Then from here, you jump into the medium body cigars. And this is what we call medium body Habano shade. So this leaf right here is from Ecuador, Habano, Ecuadorian Habano, and is aged for 5 years. That's what it turns like medium brown. Then you come over to the full body. As you can see, it's darker the leaf because it's aged for about 7 years. And this one come from Mexico, San Andrea, Mexico. It's on the sweet side. What makes a good cigar is A, the quality of the leaf, B, the quality of the torcedor, the cigar roller. The Cuban torcedores are the best in the world. Period. Hands down. Smooth, the way I like it.
多謝收睇美國專訊，下次嘅節目時間再見。